Hello guys, Woohoo here, back with another episode of the new show. We are on week 22 and we're getting closer and closer to Jude, so it's absolutely amazing. This Friday we had the podcast. If you haven't checked that out, it will be on the channel, but also I will link it in the description. And also again, shout out to Zero for making the live stream notes for us to go over on the news. And of course this will also be in the description along with the try-on stream that they had from YouTube and stuff like that. So without further ado, let's just jump into the questions and answers. And again, if you like these videos, please like the video, subscribe, all that jazz. It actually helps out very, very much. So thank you so much. First of all, the first one question is if they basically if they can safely skip Jude without dropping out of top mastery, and also if you can still do U10. And what they say is that basically what they're saying is that Jude kind of gives you a little bit of insight to U10 because it's going to be on the surface of Jude. So you can skip Jude in a sense, but they kind of want you to just have a little bit of like try it out a little bit. So you don't be like, oh, what is Jude when you jump into U10 and stuff like that. And we kind of actually theorized a little bit on the podcast around what is we're going to see, what is the scenario of U10. And I'll direct you to the podcast if you're interested in looking at that. But also, of course, you will be dropping out of top mastery. You will not be number one if you don't do gear because it has correlation to each of them and stuff like that. We'll get to that later about mastery because there's a lot about mastery and skipping geode and stuff like that. Because geode has very divided opinions about it, and I would also talk about that in the podcast. I know that's the third time I mentioned the podcast, but we actually went over a lot of these things and of course U10, but also Jude in general. But I will definitely, for my suggestion is that you check out Jude and do whatever you feel like is good, and not be like, oh, this update has to save my game interest in Trove and stuff like that. Just keep it as a little extra bonus and more focus on the Bomb Royale, which I actually find very, very fun. And I also talk about that on the podcast. Yeah, I know, for fourth time. Next question will be, you consider removing again from the Jude, so they allowed you to skip it if you don't like it. And right now they won't change the forms, but they will keep out for our feedback. I think it's, again, something people have to keep in their mindset is to play Jude. Don't expect to get all of it. Just play the game. Get as much as you can. Don't get hung up on you not being like 500 mastery or 100 mastery on Jude or whatever the goal is. Just keep going. Have some fun in Trove. Just level up your characters. Perfect them as you go along. And just keep grinding. Trove, as for me as a game, is not a game you would play 10 hours a day. But it's something I play. Sometimes I play it only half an hour, and some days I play it a lot more. But keep in mind that Trove, and then I play other games, of course, and keep in mind that Trove sometimes isn't what you should play all day, basically. And I know if you don't have any other games, but there's a lot of free-to-play games out there. If that's the issue, I would suggest you go check out Path of Exile, for example, also free to play the game. And again, you can mix it up and not keep in mind that you have to grind that much on Trove to actually get somewhere. Okay, so with that said, let's jump into more questions. A little bit of a rant there. Will there be new primordial drakes with a new type of gems coming out? And they say there is going to be a second wave of primordial dragons. Again, with the multiple, like we talked about in the previous news show, we talked about multiple colors, like more colors, right? Like they specifically said more colors with an S, you know, as multiple. And also now they say primordial drakes. So with that, I am 90% confirming, I think, with actually we're going to see more than just like green or the different color. It couldn't even be green, but we're definitely going to see more than just one color. I'm more or less certain of this. So next one is that since the removal of the Radiant Dayspring bench, how it would get Bound Brilliance. So first of all, I didn't know that they were going to remove the Radiant Dayspring. I had no idea. We're in the last month of the rotation. I thought they were just going to reset it and didn't have new stuff for every month just going along. But I guess they're going into even a new system. We had the daily login chest. We had those for a while. And then we have had this Radiant Dayspring for a year. And I thought they have said in the previous that we were not going to see these things again. So what I thought with that was that we were just going to reset all the month and then start with some new stuff every month for like the next year, basically, as it has been going now. But I guess it's getting removed, and I have no idea what the new system is going to be, or if this is just me misunderstanding something. But they are looking to creating several new distribution methods for Bound Brilliance. And Bound Brilliance is actually not that hard to get, basically. I feel like with the tome and stuff like that. Anyways, the next thing they're talking about is about acquiring Dragonite. So we had Bound Brilliance, and now they're talking about Dragonite, because in the new update you are able to craft like Chaos Vaults. Before there were only for like high placements on the, or ranks, whatever you're gonna call them, on the weekly contest leaderboards and stuff like that. So they were kind of hard to get by, but now you can craft them with some Dragonite. They're still quite expensive. They are not for new players to craft, but they have reduced the cost of it, as they say, to 10. And you actually get a lot of Dragonite. I feel like as a player, you get a lot of Dragonite, especially if you do like the events and stuff like that. There's always, or maybe like more or less always, I see that 25, Dragonite for completing one of the steps on these events. So definitely do them every time, even though they might be kind of feel like not really too fun to do. I always make a video for it. I always make a guide, and it's pretty simple, and it's helped out a lot of people. So definitely check those out and just do it, and just get it over it, basically. And that's almost always a 25 Dragonite reward in there somewhere. But anyways, next thing is how to get the silver companion eggs, and that's something to do with Geode, so I won't go into it too much because I don't know too much about it. But basically, again, you can go to the description if you want to read this specifically about the silver companion egg. Next question is, any news on the arena PvP dragon? And he is coming with the Geo update. I've shown that also on stream when I was on the PTS server. He's going to cost 300 Battle Royale coins, but you will see that when it comes online, or goes live again, or goes to live, I gotta say. There's a merchant in the hub over at the PvP, so when you spawn in, you have like the atlas in front of you, and then on the right, you will have the PvP section where you can enter Battle Royale, but you can also use your old arena coins if you have some of those still lying around. You will not be able to enter old PvP, but you will be entering Bomber Royale, and there you can also get the old rewards from the old PvP system through Bomber Royale coins and stuff like that. There's actually a question further down that I will skip now that I've actually answered it. Any information on patron bonus on Jude? Patron this won't affect the existing Geo gameplay. It may at some point in the future. So this is something I find absolutely amazing, that it's something that is not going to give people a benefit in the beginning. So like, let's say 2 to 3 weeks into Geo, they could enable like patron having bonuses to the Geo. So everybody would start on the same page. If you have patron or didn't have patron, didn't matter. You will be on the same page anyways, and then later on I think it should give a bonus, as they also say it may at some point in the future. So I definitely think like 3 or 4, maybe even 4 weeks in, I don't know exactly how long it should be, not too long though, but like it should definitely give a bonus later on. But I think I really like the idea that everybody starts on the same platform. Not that it really for me kind of personally kind of matters that much, but I kind of see it as a good thing because I know how people are with Patreon and pay to win and all that jazz that comes up like all the time. Next question will be, will there be a new badges for Geo content? There aren't new badges for Geo, but they are trophies and achievements for console players. So I kind of feel a little left out. I know that console players have also been sometimes left out when we have on PC gotten some stuff and whatnot. But I really think it's important that every platform gets the same thing. So I think that PC should get trophies and achievements as well, right? And if there is something on PC that consoles doesn't have, I really think that it's very important that they also have it. So all platforms are absolutely the same. A same thing like mods. I think they should be able to have mods on consoles as well. As a dev, and there might be some devs out there that say, "Oh, this can't be done, and that has like a lot of complications and stuff like that." Okay, but I still think they should have it. I know I'm not giving you any of the solutions. I'm just saying this is what I totally think. Next question is, any plans on adding costumes to Chaos Chest or Luxians or Flux Dragon, whatever you're going to call it? Totally possible, so that's going to be awesome. I hope at some point we are going to see Luxias or as a craftable dragon or dragon you get from something. Could be fun to get him as something for the anniversary that's coming up this summer, but maybe as a pet, or not pet, sorry, ally or something like that. Get him as an ally. Just everybody gets him for free, and then he has some kind of funny, maybe superstition as just for logging in on that day or something like that. And then later on in the year, you could bring him back as a thing you could buy from the guy. But that could be cool. They have said in the previous, somebody have asked if you could get it and they said it was possible, and we haven't heard really much to it yet. Next thing is if the new dragons will be you can still be able to get them from golden dragon effigies, and they will be still available, so you can still use them on that. So save up those golden dragon effigies if you're missing those or wanting those. Any hints on the new colors that are talking about that? Like in new ways to upgrade it in the caves and stuff like that. No hints yet, only confirmation. And something I'm really very keen on is that it's going to be from like the standard Trovian gameplay. So what we have now is going to be the same, and I think that's a great. Because sorry, I think that's amazing because I think the system is not completely flawed. I think there might be small tweaks to it, but I don't think we should see a complete revamp because we more or less have seen that with the re-rolling and stuff like that. So not major changes to it, but small tweaks here and there I think would be great. But I think it's good to keep the same thing going, especially when you're introducing like a whole bunch of new, like for example, gems and stuff like that, and new ways to maybe obtain them. But yeah, you know what I mean, right? So I like that we have the standard Trovian gameplay on that, for example. And then we can, later on, maybe get some changes, small changes here and there. Again, this is what they're talking about, the old arena coins, and again, the merchant will be there, and you can basically still buy the old PvP items from the vendor. He will be there as well. Or there'll be a little vendor, I'm not sure how, but there will be a vendor you can still use and buy the old things. Any thoughts on increasing the amount of Bomb Royale coins from getting from the tome? And they say the tome is designed to supplement the dragon earning coins because it takes 60 weeks to get the egg without playing Bomb Royale. And I think this is absolutely amazing that we are getting a tome that kind of works on PvP as well. You can also do it in PvP, but I think it should not be. If you want stuff from PvP, you should do it in PvP. But I like it that we have a little option, but it's just going to take you way longer. So if you really want this stuff, you basically just have to play it. You got to play it, right? But if you don't want to play PvP this week, for example, you can say, okay, well, I am going to just use my tome, and I'm only going to get 5 coins this week, right? And I think that's absolutely amazing. I don't think we should get that much like 20 or 30 coins, for example, from the tome every week or something like that. Like that is too much to go outside PvP and kind of do it. Why does mining or bombing Cinnabar don't drop minus Trove? They will look into it. That's so it probably does. Might be a little glitch there or mistake. Next thing is it's basically overall decorations, return the decorations to energy. It's basically sometimes when or I don't know if it's sometimes or it's every time, but at least sometimes when you put something over with the fixtures or like something, it destroys the decorations and then you don't get the thing back and it just like disappears. So they want us to look into it so you can review it, so you see if you can do it. Next thing is any way to hide already crafted at the crafting table. Kind of annoying to check out. Yeah, exactly. Also a great quality of life improvement. In the thing that it should be like a little option, like you can do right now in your collection, where you can show like show all or show collected, show missing or something like that. Kind of have the same thing going on where you can say, I want to see only the things I need to, the things I can craft, or maybe the things I need to, like I still, basically have the resources for, or the things I'm missing, or things that I have crafted, or something like that. It's just like we have on our collection as it is right now. So definitely good quality of life, definitely, for sure. That's one. Possible to reduction to leaderboard requirement from 2,000 to 1,000. Seems like it's too common to have colored names after the update. So we talked about the colors of names, and also talked about that on the podcast. I talked about it in the news show. I think that I don't think there should be any changes to the requirement. I think there should be just a option where you can get, since we're getting so much extra colors, I think there should be an option where you can change what color you want, basically. If you have it available, you can basically change it, because some colors overwrite the other colors. So if you, for example, have yellow name and somebody uses a red or a hot phone on you, you have a red name for 24 hours, right? But if you don't want that, because sometimes you don't have you didn't say it yourself you wanted that red name, right? So it's just so people have the option, because there's more colors coming in, orange and blue, for example, and you also have the purple if you are like Thor the Moon and stuff like that. So I think it should be an option, just like we talked about on the podcast. We also talked about titles for World of Warcraft, for example. You have the insane title. If you have done the insane achievement, then you will basically have the insane title, and I think there should be the same on Trove with some titles and stuff. Sorry about the noise in the background, by the way. I consider removing Trove Master from Geode, so we aren't forced to play it. It's basically the same thing they said before, and of course no plans on. And I don't hope they remove it though, because it gives an incentive to play Geode. And play and still not lose out on something. You can still, for newer players, they will dive into Geode, right? And they'll still not miss out on the main game, if you're gonna say it like that. And then there's the last question is something to do with blocks, and they are always looking to add new block types, and they will also with Geode to add some more blocks and stuff. But they will take it in consideration for some more blocks. So we definitely need just more ideas to blocks. That's always a good thing. So that was the news show for week 22. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, again, leave a like, subscribe, maybe a comment on something about Geode or the news, anything like that. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope to see you guys next time. I'm Wahoo, and I'm Bye.